Hey guys, it's Chris and welcome back to Something Else Amiga. What do we got? We have another special Amiga in the house again from Dr. Phil. Yes, the Dr. Phil. He writes, he writes, Dear Amiga Chris, thanks for taking a look at this. I have a black screen, A500, Rev 6A, has a 68010 with a 68K accelerator board. Used to work fine until 2 weeks ago. Then it got a pixelated screen, had some broken line, maybe some bad caps near the 555 reset. Chip mem looked okay. I know I'm number 7 on your list, but I can't troubleshoot this further. Thanks, best, the Dr. Phil. The Dr. Phil. So, Dr. Phil, we have emailed back and forth. You know, he's such a famous celebrity, Dr. Phil. But we're going to get this sorted. We're going to take a peek at what's going on and see what's what. So for those of you who don't know, I feel I have to reiterate this in every video. I do have an ESD strap. It is on an ESD mat that is grounded to my table, which is grounded to my house ground. I also have another ground to my table in a spot that I ground off, so it's all metal, with my, what I call the prison bracelet. It is an ESD strap. It is on my foot, around the old cankle, because hands-free mode. So, what do we got? 6A, good. 8372A, she's jumper for, I think 1 meg. This came with no Denise, but it did have a ECS Scan Plus right here. So I'm going to hook that up, and first I'm going to do the RGB here. So I'm going to do RGB, and I'm going to give it a once-over before I fire anything up, because you never know. Alright, so we have correct. Ooh, that cap is jacked up. We have correct, dot to the right, correct, ROM to the north, CPU to the, Okay, I think I found your problem, Dr. Phil. So, here is an Amiga 500 socket for the CPU, right above that little cap. You see this little notch right here? See that? Well, your CPU has a notch right here. Let's see. That ain't gonna work. That'll give you a black screen. Black screen, no CPU. Why? Because it's in backwards. Flip her around, notch to the south, facing you. The Scan Plus ECS, I'm going to take a peek at this. All the pins are intact. The tantalum cap has not exploded. We are on the correct connector. Pin 1 is red. Denise is a 62R8, which is the OCS Denise. We're going to put this in here. Let's turn it on. Let's get the camera up. Hey, you notice the squeak stopped? I put some oil on it. Here we go. I do see some lines. But there is a band here. There's like banding, just like you said. Now that is on the RGB side. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it off, even though I don't have to. I'm going to hook that up to the VGA or D-sub 15 of the Scan Plus. Waiting for the DeVoom to kick on, and there we go. And yep, the scan lines are really bad. Whoops, knocked the power cord out of the camera. Alright, so you can see the banding here. It's the same thing. But the Amiga works again because it has the 68010 in it. And now that doesn't mean that it was put in wrong and that's why it wasn't working. What happened is this. In this machine, this thing. This is a accelerator, Amiga 500 accelerator, fast RAM IDE GPL3 open source from Paul Raspa. I think the socket's just been stretched like an 18-year-old girlfriend. Okay, here is how the unit was used at home. I'm going to grab 2 things, Amiga Test Kit and Sysinfo Bootable. My lovely writing of a 4-year-old. That's me. Hey, you know what? Why don't you plug a mouse in, you big dummy? 5th time's the charm. This thing's hurting my foot. Booting. This will be just a Sysinfo disk. The position may be a little off because my monitor didn't auto adjust. We have a 68,000 because it's that SEC branded one. We're going to hit memory first. We have 2 megs of fast RAM and 1 meg of chip. So that's not 8 megs, that's 2 megs. Okay, so we have 3 megs of memory. Still pretty cool for a stock Amiga 500. Speed! Wow, it says wow, 32.3 megahertz. So I mean, that's pretty good. We gave her the old Thailand tug there. Cold shower pool, you know about that. 32.3, it says wow. 3,520 dry stone, or English, 3,250 dry stones, and a whopping 3.39 million instructions per second. That's what MIPS means, guys, and the MFLOPS is millions of floating point operations per second. In case you're wondering what these goofy numbers are, and dry stones is a calculation of CPU cycles per second. It's actually dry stone / second. So
it's an older code, sir, but it checks out. We
know it works, but is the RAM okay? I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Amiga Test Kit 1.8. Kier Frazier, thank you for this, dude. You're awesome. I'm going to hit the normal things. CIA first. I use this one versus the diagram CIA test because this is more NTSC friendly. RTC battery backed up clock. It's November 2008. Looks good to me. It does have an Amiga Kit RTC on there. Memory, 1 mega chip, so the mod has been done. That's what that little jumper's for on the board. And we're just going to test first the chip RAM. You're pretty good. Now I'm also going to do the same thing for the, we're good there. And we're going to choose the fast RAM of 2 megs and say start. So this has been running for a little bit now, a couple minutes. We're already on 5.4, so that's a nice cut. Audio. My cats love that part. That's good. Floppy drive. When you guys run this, I've shown this in the past on the 3000 videos. When you run this and you just get this 1111, don't think you're okay. Press this F2 or click it, because that will move the cylinder halfway up the shaft and then give her the full tug all the way to 79. If you're good to go, you're good to go. If not, you got to do some stepper motor adjustment. You can look at my 3000 part 1 and 2 video, 3000 Tower part 1 and 2 video on how to do a complete diagnosis and repair of a goofy cylinder that's either Xing all through here or giving you some wrong track alignment. With that, this Amiga is ready for a recap. Bust out the soldering station. We're going to bust out this cap kit here, and I'm going to clean up a little bit to give myself some operating room. Okay, I'm all set up. Got my soldering iron heating up. Got my red marker. What I like to do when I get a cap kit is I just write the value on here. 100, 47, 22, 3300. I kind of know those. And then there's 1470 and then the 2 10s. So that's cool. And Frank really hooks you up. So you get the high quality, not no cheap crap. So $30 for that whole cap kit. Not bad. RetroRewind.ca. So I'm working right here, right? And this is a 16 volt 100. See that little plus right there? That means the longer leg of the two goes in that hole. Yeah, buddy. So I like to stick them up just a little bit so I can make sure the solder blob goes through. I think it's 3:35 p.m. on the old Amiga clock from AmigaKit.com. These daggone double A's are replaced by these double D's. This is a Dolly Parton cap right here, and Nichikan. They're the good Japanese caps, so you're getting quality parts. They're just big. Oh, it's the next day. I passed out for 10 hours because I was overexerted and exhausted. I finished Dr. Phil's Amiga 500. I also removed the ROM. I just burned myself the newest diagram 1.21. There's 1.3 beta, but I stuck with what works. I had a diagram on a GG Labs chip with the SIL turn pin. I broke a pin off and I was too lazy to... I hate those damn things because my programmer never works for them. So I threw it in the trash, burned myself a brand new regular one that I can erase and update whenever I want. I got a 1084S because the question of rasterization happens when I'm using a PAL Amiga 500 on a Dell 2410F. Yes, it does do 50 hertz, but it will put a line like every 4 inches or so for rasterization from the 50 hertz signal, slapping through a 60-50-ish, you know, that thing. There's diagram on both screens. I'm going to press the right button so I can get serial. I'm using the keyboard of the PC to serial this thing. Simple waveform. How do I turn the channels on? Alright. Test module. Works fine. I'm not going to go through the other tests. I'm going to use the Jonard here. And I'm going to pull out the ROM here. This is diagram. Diagram is out. Pin straightener. Where did I get this pin straightener? RetroRewind.ca. $8. Use my code, no code, save 10%. Here we go. This is Amiga OS 3.1. Energized. Nothing will come on that screen. We'll go ahead and close that. We should see the normal thing, but you're going to see rasters, and I'll show you what I mean. You'll see these lines that appear right here, right here, right here. I'll turn this off. I'll unplug this. This is a DB23 to VGA converter. This is a Commodore 1084S. Alright, just plugged in. I have my 1084S on a switch because I don't want to keep pressing the button. And turn the Amiga on. Minus the crap I got on my screen and the 8,000 fingerprints because I touch it. Now, this is a 50 hertz signal going into a 60 hertz monitor. I don't see that, but the camera is going to flicker like mad because my signal on here is set for 60. While we're looking at the flicker, you'll notice you don't see horizontal bars here. Now, this is flickering so fast, my bad eyes can't see that thing that the camera can. But the cool thing is, the Amiga is functioning again, and if I had a GoTech hooked up, and I could find the thumb drive that had all my stuff on it that I just apparently lost, tore the whole basement apart, it's gone. Cat probably got it and batted it around, and I'll never see it again. It's like that big, silver with a crystal tip. It's got all my stuff on it. Crystal freaking clear here. I wish I could get a photo. Wish digital photographs would take. There's your pixels of your display. Looking for any burnt out ones. There's your RGB. See it? Check that out. Ooh, neat. That's what your 1084S looks like. Really close up there. Okay, so after a little while searching, this is called a PR77 from Paul Raspa. He has a bunch of them on his GitHub, PR77. Feel free to check it out. But the IDE interface was never completed. Future goals. A support IDE device. Credit to M. Hendricks, GitHub M. Hendricks, for a simple and quick IDE interface. And to have an SPI interface to support flash-based kickstarts. That's why I get nothing, because nothing exists for it to work. I even went on my HD toolbox here and set it to IDE.device, because that is what it was asking for in the little README, his goals. IDE.device, just for S and G's. It doesn't work. So that's because it was never implemented. So that is all I got for Dr. Phil's machine. She's all patched up, ready to go. The video signal is now nice and clean. After the recap, by the time this video comes out, Dr. Phil will have his Amiga 500 back, and hopefully it is working very well for him. Unfortunately, the IDE driver is not available or incomplete, or not enough documentation is available. It's possible you could do like the 1230 and do a load module, but I don't even have the file. You can call that in the first line of your startup sequence to kick it over to that device, but you need something to boot off of to call that device, so it's kind of irrelevant. You make a custom ROM even and put it in there, but is it worth it? It's 2 megs of RAM. You can buy the 8 meg boards with auto boot and an IDE device driver that is not that project, but it's a neat little thing that Amigas can do. There's many different ways to accomplish the same task, and they're all different. So what makes it magical is that we're still using these things, and it brings a smile to our face every time we hit the power button, if it doesn't guru. So that's all I got. Until next time, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you learned something.